All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. 24 hours after that performance against Manchester City, we probably just need to calm down and humble ourselves a little bit. Look, obviously, it was a very, very good performance. And as I said, we probably deserved a win. But now, after 24 hours, I see a lot of fans in the fan base that's just getting a bit carried away. Look, this this performance has been really, really good against Manchester City, but we need to see consistency. We've seen far too many times where something like this has happened, and then we followed it up with a plethora of losses, most specifically against Manchester City. Last time we played, we went through a massive decline after that, thinking that possibly after that draw, we turned a corner, but not to be. Look, plenty of things to talk about in today's video, but the one particular topic that I want to talk to you guys about, and I'm so keen to know exactly what you guys are thinking about this particular topic in the comment section, let me know, is some of you guys have reached out to me to talk about Christopher NKUNKU, and I think this is timely that we have a discussion about this particular player. Now, look, obviously, he's been injured. There's been a long-term injury, and he's been away from Chelsea team for a long time. And then he came back, and then he picked up another minor injury where he got knocked out for about another month or so. Now he's been back, and he's been back for a little while. He's been coming off the bench, no problems. I've got no issues with that. Slowly sort of integrating him back into the team. But I feel like last couple of games he probably could have started as well. Now the conundrum that I have at the moment with this particular player is I'm not getting that impact off the bench of the last couple of games. Someone like Christopher NKUNKU, I want to see him come off the bench and really light it up, really give us that impetus off the bench. This guy, I like him a lot. In fact, I love him. He's a sensational footballer, sensational player, got immense quality about him. His skill set for us up front in the attacking areas is going to be stupendous. But the conundrum at the moment we're facing is, and I get it, we don't have any strikers, so we're utilizing him as a false nine or a striker, whatever you want to call it, up front. But it's not getting the best out of him. Now, in one hand, we can stay patient, see exactly what transpires down the track, and this is another situation, another predicament that Mauricio Pochettino has to unlock. Just the way I think recently he started to get the Enzo Fernandez situation right. We need to figure out what is the best solution with Christopher NKUNKU. And it sucks the fact that we don't have a striker. We haven't addressed a striker for so long. Conundrum where we're having to utilize, Christopher NKUNKU up top. And some of you guys might say, why not Nicholas Jackson? Nicholas Jackson, what we've realized over the past few weeks is he's everything but a striker. I think he can play on the left side. I think he can play on the right side. I think he can play just behind a striker, but he just simply can't play as a striker. Now, we could potentially try him play as a striker and play Christopher NKUNKU just behind, but that would mean Conor Gallagher probably doesn't get into the team, who has been very, very strong in recent times. And I want to keep the team as intact as possible. I don't want to tinker too much, especially the back line, especially the midfield, as much as we can. I know there'll be games where you don't utilize Conor Gallagher, no problems about that. But there will be, and right now, it'll be too difficult to get someone in the caliber of Conor Gallagher out of the team. It will just be unjustified. Honestly, it will be injustice to get someone like Conor Gallagher out of the team. So I fully understand that. So playing NKUNKU just behind a striker, you have to sacrifice a midfielder. So the genuine lineup that everyone kind of thinks is potentially Christopher NKUNKU up top, Conor Gallagher just behind. You've got Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, Cole Palmer on the right, and you've got Nicholas Jackson on the left. Now, the alternative option is you can play Nicholas Jackson up front, Christopher NKUNKU just behind, Cole Palmer on the right, and perhaps Sterling on the left. So, and you can give it a shot, but as I said, that is tinkering a bit too much, where you are having to remove certain parts of the midfield. You're having to switch. Well, you're having to do a little bit of adjustment in the left side of the wings, and I don't know whether you get the best out of Nicholas Jackson. So this is where we need someone like Christopher NKUNKU to come good for us. he's, and if you guys remember, not that long ago, everyone was saying that once Christopher Nkunku comes back, all of Chelsea's problems will go away. Well, it almost now looks like he's become a little bit of an issue. How do we make sure we fit him in? Because, as I said, him playing as a false nine, I need him to be more involved. And in recent times off the bench, I don't think I've seen that impact. And once again, I reiterate, I absolutely love this player. I absolutely feel like he's supremely valuable to the team. And with the upcoming matches that's coming up in the likes of Liverpool in the Carabao Cup and many more in the Premier League, we need to pick up as many wins as possible, especially in that final. And we need big players like Nkunku to deliver the goods for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section. I've just not really enjoyed his impact off the bench. And I don't know if we've got it completely right with Christopher Nkunku up front. I know we've all said in recent times, I know I have, with no striker up top, just play Christopher Nkunku. But it may not be the best solution. But we'll see. I know it's only a small sample size that we're working on. We'll see what happens down the track. So in the comment section, let me know, are you a tad bit worried about how Nkunku, the lack of impact, where is he best utilized? I've always thought he's best utilized as someone just behind a striker. But at the moment, there seems to be that imbalance in the team if you want to include someone like Nkunku, which is so strange to say because he's meant to be one of the most important players. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Thomas Tuchel and Bayern Munich have lost another game. That's 3 back-to-back losses. And a club of the stature of Bayern Munich, you just can't allow for that to continue. They've got standards, much like when Chelsea Football Club used to have standards. You can't have a manager that loses 3 in a row. And it's been lackluster to a certain degree. And it seems like apparently there's some news that he's falling off with certain players in Bayern Munich as well. So look, why am I bringing this particular news up? Because there are certain parts of our fan base that wouldn't mind bringing someone like Thomas Tuchel back to Chelsea Football Club. Now, regardless of me wanting Thomas Tuchel back or anyone wanting Thomas Tuchel back, I think we need to first address the fact that our owners don't want Thomas Tuchel back. I think that's number one. So we're never going to see Thomas Tuchel back at Chelsea Football Club as long as we have the current owners. That's number one. Number two, would I want him back? Look, I have always liked him a lot, loved him a lot for all the things that he's done for us. He's a particular manager. I feel like he's got a certain philosophy. He's got a certain style that players can understand and players can implement. There was a lot of players at Chelsea Football Club that were shattered when he left, in the likes of Ben Chilwell, and a lot of players that played their best football under that manager, even though they were injured for a long time. But Ben Chilwell, Reece James are 2 players that had immense impact when Thomas Tuchel was around. Some of the players that have left in the likes of Kovacic, Rudiger, Jorginho, they all like Thomas Tuchel a lot. So look, Thomas Tuchel, as much as he tends to fall out, and there's history in PSG, apparently there's now talks in Bayern Munich, and there were also players at Chelsea Football Club that he fell out with. But I think Thomas Tuchel overall, I still rate him as a manager. I don't think he's a bad manager one bit. To compete against Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola is very difficult, but at least under Thomas Tuchel, I don't think we'd be as low as where we've been over the past 2 seasons. So, look, I wouldn't mind, but at the same time, I understand the arguments against it. And I also understand that the last time, when just before he got sacked, I said it was a bit premature, but I also said that if he continued in the manner that he did, he would have got himself sacked anyway at Chelsea Football Club because those results were not acceptable for Chelsea's standard at that time. Now the standard has absolutely deteriorated. But look, Thomas Tuchel, it does annoy me when I see a lot of Chelsea fans talk down on him because I feel like it's not warranted. It really isn't warranted. I still think he's a very, very top manager. But it's not looking good for him at Bayern Munich. I think he's probably going to get sacked. A lot of people talking about who can we potentially get from Bayern Munich. Matthias Tell's name has been thrown around. Musiala's name has been thrown out. Two players that I would love to see at Chelsea Football Club. Tell is a very, very good shout. Fits our profile, young. Transfer fee probably is not going to be astronomical. Wages are not going to be astronomical. Musiala, look, might be a bit of a problem. Wages might be a bit of a problem. Transfer fee could be a bit of a problem. And why would someone like Musiala want to join Chelsea Football Club who are not going to be in Europe one bit? Tell, on the other hand, we could potentially sell the project to him by saying that you're going to be one of the most important players. And he's a very, very good player. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in regards to Thomas Tuchel, and who would you want from Bayern Munich? Just some news off the back of that loss against Bochum. As I said, 3 back-to-back losses: loss against Leverkusen, loss against Lazio in the Champions League, and now against Bochum. This came straight after the loss against Bochum just moments ago. Internal talks to take place at FC Bayern now as Thomas Tuchel's job remains at risk. Time to decide manager's future soon, with president and directors involved. And another news in regards to this matter, Bayern president Driesen, I'm really feeling, today mentality beat quality. We are not happy at all. Tuchel's still in charge next week, of course. So, look, I won't be surprised if Thomas Tuchel is sacked very, very soon. I want to just see if there's any latest. There's more comments from Fabrizio Romano coming from Thomas Tuchel press conference, perhaps. If you ask me, I firmly still believe me and coaching staff can turn things around. Yes, growing pressure, that happens after every defeat, but today we never stopped trying. Well, there you go. So that's a little bit about Thomas Tuchel and what's going on with Bayern Munich. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, some more Chelsea news. Axel Disasi, to be honest, I'm hurting, but at the same time, I'm proud of the performance of the team. We played very, very well all together. We showed we can struggle together, stick together, and fight for each other. In the end, they scored a goal, and it's bad feelings, so I'm a bit frustrated. Look, I like how he feels this way, that he is frustrated. He believed that we could have won, and we should have won. That's how I feel as well. One thing I do want to say is that I see a lot of people getting really, really hyped up and gassed up about Axel Disasi. Look, Axel Disasi in recent times has been very good. Right side, he's been very good now in central positions. Central defender, being a central defender, he's been quite good as well. Don't forget, Crystal Palace, he got spun around by Mateta. One thing I'll say is that I like his character. Gives me the Rudiger vibe. I like his passion, his hunger, his desire to fight. His ability to connect with the fans. I love all of that. But let's not get carried away. I want to see more performances like that from Axel Disasi for a prolonged period of time, not just for 1 or 2 games or whatever it is. Predominantly this season, he's been okay. There's been performances where it's not been good, but we can't just be sitting here off the back of that City game and forget about what has happened all throughout this season. But I do want to see him continue to put on the same sort of performances that he has done against Manchester City for a prolonged period of time. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get carried away because I'm once again seeing people getting carried away and saying, oh, he's the best, this, that, the other. One thing I will say is that someone like Thiago Silva probably now will find it very difficult to come back into the team because I don't want to tinker too much in defense. I want to keep it as regular as possible. Disasi has become a regular. Levi Colwill is now coming into the defensive central defending area and partnering Disasi. So I want to continue with that. Buddy Shield probably would have continued if he didn't get injured. And there's competition coming from obviously Thiago Silva, Chalobah, and the rest are injured. So right now I'd keep it as it is, Disasi, Levi Colwill, and continue on. No need to tinker around with this. No need to chop and change with this. And continue on with Malo Gusto and Ben Chilwell on the left side as well. Malo Gusto has been sensational on that right side. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Manchester United are set to raid Chelsea and upset them by making a move for chief analyst Carl McCauley. Look, I don't even know how I feel about this, to be honest. We've got a lot of analysts. We've got a lot of recruitment specialists. So if they want to do this, no problems. We've got a lot of Brighton people, so we can do with one less. I've got no issues. If he wants to go, he can go. We're getting another Brighton brother anyway, so this is not a big, big move for me. But you guys let me know how you feel about that. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, I want to touch base a little bit in regards to Man United. I mean, they've just won another game. I think this might be their 4th Premier League win in a row, I believe, or maybe 5. we need to understand and respect a little bit in regards to Man United, even though they are not always playing the best football, but they've been getting results. They really have been. And someone like Rasmus Højlund, has been banging goals in recent times. He was struggling in the early parts. Now he's scoring quite a few goals, as Erik ten Hag is saying. Rasmus Højlund now has a lot of confidence, and I'm sure he will score more and more goals. Look, Man United, with the tumultuous season that they've had, they're only 3 points away from Spurs, and I think Spurs are fifth. So they're really gunning for that fourth position, top four finish. And someone like us, we need to understand how they're doing this, and we need to similarly build that momentum like the way Man United has done this. So I would love to see our football club go on a bit of a run, pick up some points, and get in and around this whole business of top six. I don't think top four is a realistic target anymore, but fifth, sixth, seventh is something that if we can put 4 or 5 wins in a row, we could potentially be in the mix. So Man United, somehow they've managed to do this, and we can't be bantering them. They've been able to turn things around a little bit in recent times. I know they're out of Europe. Obviously, Carabao Cup final, it's Chelsea versus Liverpool, and they're still in the FA Cup, but they've somehow just turned the corner, and their players are lifting, and we need our players to lift. So I just wanted to touch base on that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about, especially Christopher NKUNKU situation. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about that. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I shall see you guys for a live stream tomorrow. Until then, everyone, take care and see ya. Bye.